Good day, YouTubers. Up on the bench today is the Axial SCX10 Deadbolt for some much needed surgery. As you can see, that front steering link is a little bit bent. It is a generic level 3 RC steering link, rocking an RC 4-wheel drive bumper along with a Warren winch there on the front. Those have been awesome. Nice waterproof Savox servo. But that's not why we're here. Well, the steering link is, but what we need to do today, whoops, sorry, fingers got it there in the way. This axle is having some issues, some being out here on the ends. The C-hubs have stripped out of the axle housing. Maybe we need some beef tubes in the future, but for what we're going to do today, it will be this. We're going to install a whole new axle housing, new knuckles, new C-hubs, along with a new 20-turn motor because the 35-turn motor in there is a little bit toast. That motor's been through a whole lot with us, and as you saw maybe in one of our recent videos, it kind of bit the dust. So we're going to throw this 20-turn motor that we have laying around, as well as an Atomic RC front steering link. Now what's cool about this is that it comes with the small link and the large link, along with all the hardware and a registration number. We run one of these Atomic links on the Jeep SCX10 as well as on the AX10 junkyard hodgepodge truck that we have that will be coming out in a couple more videos, but we're still working on it. Got a new body for it, got some other things for it. So anyway, without further ado, we're going to tear into this thing. And what we need to do first is remove these lower links, remove the shocks, as well as, if you can see in there, remove the upper link. Now this truck has been converted to a 4-link front suspension on the top instead of the factory 3-link suspension. You can find those parts and pieces in your parts bag for those of you all who are new to the hobby. So here we go. Hope you enjoy. What do you got there, Brad?
Well, we finally got the front axle off. It's always more invested than you think, but there's a lot more screws, but we're almost ready to start swapping everything over.
Alright.
So, we got the axle finally split apart, and you can see it looks pretty good in there. We used marine grease in the axle to kind of waterproof it. Nothing's ever fully waterproof, but as long as you do your maintenance and make sure you keep grease in there, you're not going to have any big major rust problems. Your bearings are going to look good. The most problem we have with any of ours are these outside bearings, because they're the ones that get the most exposure to water and dirt and stuff. So every time I take it apart, I do take those off and make sure they're cleaned out and re-greased, repacked. And we haven't had too many issues aside from that. So
How many times has the deadbolt been in water, Brad?
It's been in water quite a few times. We've fully submerged it with several, and that's how I went through several receivers, because I got dared to go in water and I did it. So the easiest way I know how to do this is just push up on the bottom side, and you have the main piece there, and we're going to set that on a rag to try to keep grease off the bench. And you can see it's still in good shape. The shear pin's not messed up or anything, so that's good to get dropped right back in the new one. I'm gonna take the bearing out too. Just don't want to drop that. The best way to do is just come from the inside and push. Maybe. So there is 2 bearings on this. There's an inside one and an outside one, so I pushed the inside one out first, and got the outside one, and it just slides on right there. And do the spin test, and it spins freely, so we're good. So we're just going to drop this in, all that line back up. And where it's supposed to be, it's going to turn fine. The second cover on, but before we do that, we're going to make sure we get some extra fresh marine grease in here and here, which seals both sides, and then we just put a little bit around this so it keeps that lubricated and it'll keep turning like it should. Well, we're gonna get it in there eventually. So I've got some fresh grease in those bearings, a new dollop in between the. There we go. It gets pretty messy, I'll say that, but I got a good dollop on there, so that's gonna. Basically, what you want to do is make sure the water can't get. If it gets into here, you don't want it to get in the rest of the way, so that's why I got a little gap there. Put this on there. Sandwich them together. It's gonna take a little wiping off once we get it on there. We're gonna put this C-hub on and wipe my hand off first so I don't get grease all over that too while I'm at it. So on goes the first C-hub. Some people also recommend wearing rubber gloves when you do this too, latex gloves, that way you don't get it all over yourself, but I'm not afraid of the grease, so that's why I get it all over me. So there's that. We have a functioning axle. Once I put this piece of the drive shaft on, you'll be able to see it spin. So that's spinning. We're golden. Next thing we gotta do is we're gonna put that servo plate on there and start putting everything back together. It works. Just swapping over the new length there. Sometimes you wish you had a third hand whenever you're dealing with some of this RC stuff. That's the unhelpful third hand right there. So that's on there. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. This is all Team K&K hardware, stainless for the deadbolt, and I've been pretty happy with it. It hasn't rusted or anything, so as it shouldn't.
We're gonna
because
put a link in the
stainless.
video description.
Yeah. As I was saying earlier, before we got a phone call, I suggest when I take anything apart like this, if you're not too familiar with that truck yet, I recommend making sure you put your screws in certain piles that correspond with what they go to. So like I have my servo screws here. This is my suspension for my top link and my bottom links. I just figure that makes it easier, that way when I put it back together I know which screws are where and where they come from and where they go. So this is the previous link that we had on there, and as you can see, it's got a pretty big bend in it. It's been through a lot.
It's custom bent.
Yeah. You can tell it's been used. It should sit level on the bench, but you can tell that's how much off it's been. Doesn't, I mean, it'll still turn, but even that is all messed up. So it was time for a upgrade to an atomic one.
That's pretty.
It's all smooth and it looks really nice. So we're getting it put back together.
Pretty.
Yeah, everything's back on there now. Now we should put it back on the truck. This new link here, we'll see where we have to adjust that to. I'm sure we're going to have to adjust it a little bit. But I'm going to start putting everything back on here. One piece at a time.